Hey guys, it's Matt. I don't know where to start. I watch a lot of videos still in the truth community, and I just shake my head. I'm not going to mention any specific channel names or it's to me it's becoming so simple that it's so simple it will appear to be a cop out. People will say in the truth community, this Matt's been trying to figure out for 10 years. He's finally admitting he has no idea, no clue. So he has this cop out, this simple approach, which is just a cop out because he never gonna figure it out. He's a dumbass. It's so simple. It basically doesn't even leave room to have a channel. I mean, well, it does because you can make fun of it for the rest of your life. And then you can also, like I said, a video or two back, you can do 10 years just showing, like I'm going to show now, how the truth community has been played and used, just like Neo was used. He was no great figure. First time you see the Matrix, you're like, Neo, oh man, he was the one, he was awesome, and this, he saved everybody. When you really break it down, the machines were not defeated. The machine world still existed. The Matrix still existed. Everybody in the Matrix still existed. Their ability to feed the machine still existed. All that happened was like, some machine world sent a Whopper computer message down to Morpheus and Zion that said, "Oh, instead of going to 16 females, 7 males, I think it was, oh, you'll be allowed to live down there in your squalor and your shit and your underground. You just live underground. You leave us alone." And nobody won, and Neo was killed. The one, he served the system, just as he served the Oracle and the Architect. They were working together. Oracle wasn't working on the side of Zion. She was playing Neo and Morpheus the whole time. The truth community serves the system 100, well, let's just say 99%. Hopefully some of us aren't serving the system anymore, but they still are. So, guys, let's start here. Um, Let me talk. I'm talking now. Let's do it like a hypnotism. I'm talking now to your inner knowing, your gut feeling. It's called gut feeling for a reason. That term has been carried through time artificially on purpose as a reality clue as to where real knowledge comes from. Knowledge that bypasses the frontal lobes. Matt, you're talking right now using your ego and the frontal lobes. I have to communicate in this, but I'm trying to draw the knowledge from other places, and I'm just forcing out of the voice box to a degree. It wants to dissent in some ways, of course, but this is the only way I can communicate. I can't take my mic and stick it down into my belly. So I want to let's bypass the conscious mind into inner tuning fork, inner knowing, gut feeling, the knowledge that comes from somewhere else outside of the idiot egoic mind and whatever the frontal lobe has been trained to do in this reality system. Let me just ask you this. In terms this system, whatever we want to call this system here, I call it the screen. It works through its systems and its minions. Overall, and I often talk about the reality itself, so just give me that for now. Overall, what does your gut feeling tell you? Do you think it wants to be analyzed endlessly by the truth community? Or do you think it doesn't want to be analyzed endlessly? Let's just keep it at that for now. What does your gut tell you? You know, of course it wants to be analyzed endlessly by the truth community because over analysis, endless analysis is, again, here we go again, draws you outside of yourself. Is anybody really thinking that no, it wants to operate in complete stealth, it wants to run its schemes and scams quietly, and we're just besting them, Matt? We're beating them to the punch. We're 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 exposing it. They don't want to be all this analysis that the truth community has done on YouTube. They don't want us making videos about this and videos about the 7-Eleven job application. They didn't want that. Does anybody really think that? Well, Matt, the censorship proves that. Oh, it doesn't. 'Cause they let us do this from 2008 to roughly 2017 with almost zero censorship. There were tens of thousands of 7-Eleven job application videos, tens of thousands of the Robin Williams and who played Rain Man? Dustin Hoffman Hook movie videos on YouTube about what happened there. There was no censorship at the time. In terms of let's do a sidebar and figure out why now is the phase of censorship. Are we getting too close? No, it's all part of the script. Of they let us introduce it, the revelation, the method, etc. But here we go into a sidebar again. The basic point is just rise up, 100,000 miles and look down at yourself in this snow globe, in this little pathetic reality system. Does it want to be overanalyzed endlessly? Of course it does. We could do a sidebar as well. Why does it want to be overanalyzed? Basically, fine, we'll do 2 minutes. It's again, this is obvious to me, but maybe, I mean, I don't want to look. Do I have it all figured out? No, but it draws energy from where attention goes, energy flows. It draws energy and loosh from the attention it gets to the highly creative beings and potential reality creators in this truth community. Okay, it seems arrogant or sounds arrogant, but it is possible. We are not the same as your aunt Ginny and the guy down the cul-de-sac. It's possible we are different, right? You could say old soul, a different type of incarnation, whatever it may be. So it draws energy, and at the same time, it fulfills its mission to distract, to draw you outside of yourself, to get you focusing on it, to get you, well, if we do this and that and this and that and this and that, we can win. Win what? You're here for yourself. So it's the same thing over and over again, guys. When I turn on these YouTube videos, it's endless analysis of what's doing it to us, where the problems are coming from, what exactly it is. The endless BitChute videos are germ theory or no germ theory. Again, put your mind aside, inner knowing, inner tuning fork. Get in touch with it right now. This reality system, the darkness here, the screen, whatever's out to screw us over and keep a human being from itself, do you think it wants the attention and analysis or not? Is it obvious it does? And if it isn't obvious, it's like a kid that sometimes begs for attention. If it isn't obvious, and you need to be convinced that it actually wants your attention, there's one person listening to this going, no, it would much rather operate without the truth community being onto it. Then why did it leave an inflated tire at 2 blocks away from the bottom of the you know what? Why did it send a laughing Bobby out in front of a podium? Why does it? We have thousands of mistakes on purpose. It obviously wants our attention. Neo was needed by the Oracle and the architect. Okay, so the point is, if you go around the YouTube videos, Truth Community, and if there's a hardcore analysis of what do they got planned next, what's really doing it to us, is it germ theory, the nature of this, the nature of that, what's the point? If somebody's screaming, I mean, well, figuring out exactly what the next step would be or what their plans are and how it's going to be genocide, and that's not helpful to us? No. You can't see that by now? Of course not. 90 whatever percent of the truth community would think I'm mad. There's a big segment here that understand what I'm talking about, but it's just you just have to get back to the basics. You can easily realize that it wants to be noticed. Whatever it is, what's it? It doesn't matter. I call it the reality itself. It wants to be, if it's to me, it's so simple. It's like a cop out to a lot of people that there's somebody playing the Sims game and you're in the Sims game. If you could rise up out of the Sims game and look down And so in the Sims game, like, well, what's this group going to do as it comes around the corner? What's this group plotting and planning? What's really in the liquid? When's the genocide going to come? What do I need to do for prepping? This is a blah 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 blah. Blah. What if you could rise up out of it? I guess the Sims character never could, but if you could, what? Is it looking pointing at a laptop? It's a freaking was in a Sims game. I was trying to figure out what this group would do and that group would do, and I was organizing a pickup truck army over here to go get this group and bring them to justice. And then this guy, there was a character in it named Wiener, and he was taking pictures of himself. What the hell was I spending time on that for? It's no different. You'll the day of our death or the day of our life someday, you'll step out of the closet for half a second and go, what the hell did I put so much energy, attention, and stock and worry into that shit for? I mean, even I've, really some YouTubers and people I really like, spending so much time who's calling me now? Stop. Trying to figure everything out. I have to get this. I'll be back. Okay, the phone call was a good thing because I would have ranted on like that for 4 or 5 hours, saying the same things over and over again. And I went back and just watched the last few minutes or so and organized my thoughts. So, guys, if anything I said in that first part resonated with you, I would suggest you write number one, number two, write two things down and apply a standard when you watch YouTube videos. Come across a YouTube video, all the bait, all the baited hooks, the worms on the end of hooks, and here's a video, overwhelming proof Anunnaki did this or shaped human beings into this. I mean, substitute anything, okay, even much more related to what's going on now. People rolling their eyes like, I don't chase that anymore. Substitute anything, okay? The endless truthers talking about this is genocide. Again, like I said a few videos back, I'm not rushing out to get in line for anything. I'm not. Don't um, cut and paste my words here. I'm not pushing. I'm not recommending anybody go do anything. Just the opposite. But to come out and say they know what's coming very soon is a genocide. How the heck would anybody know that? And you know how reckless and irresponsible to actually plant into the minds of real quantum creative human beings, or potentially who knows what we are in this community, listening, imagining that a mass genocide is coming. You want to talk about the system actually using potentially truth creators to manifest. I mean, it's just without knowing to put into somebody's mind that a super mass death is coming. Come on. And anybody going to say, well, we should speculate in that manner? Are you kidding? Sorry. All right. The standard one and standard two. Standard one is, what is this going to do for me? Let's just say I watch and it's correct. Anunnaki really did this to human beings, and this is we were completely genetically manipulated. This and I'm saying I know that's ridiculous, and most of us don't watch that stuff anymore. But apply that to even what's going on more now. Standard one is, let's say I watch this. What's it going to do for me if this is even correct? What's it going to do for me? And the answer 99% of the time will be nothing. Absolutely nothing. And part two, see, part one, if anybody's yelling at me going, Matt, look, we could do it for fun. It's all you have a hobby. You like to pursue certain things in the truth community that don't get you anywhere. Sometimes it's fun looking at the ancient architecture. How could it have been built? It's fun. Okay, there's a degree of that, and there's also a degree of addiction that we all have. That's fine. That's fine. But the second part is more important. You say, what is this going to get at? What am I going to get out of this if it's even real? Part two is, do you believe that the system is benefiting from how many ever thousands of incarnations like us, whoever we are, whether we're neotypes or whoever we are related to the potentially the NPC or the organic portal or Aunt Ginny or the guy down the cul-de-sac, whoever we are, say to yourself in part two, is the system going to benefit if thousands of people like us give it our attention? And if it's a dire subject, give it our fear, give it our worry, give it our anxiety. You know, when you go hardcore prep, it's out of fear. Of course, it is out of fear. I'm not altruistic and perfect. I have 8 or 9 boxes of spaghetti, and I have 20 cans of chunky soup. I have a little pantry backup that makes me feel good if I was shut in here for a month or whatever. But we're in the avatar. We can't drop all. We're not going to be perfect. We're in this body. Okay, this is what we are in this reality system. So I have the same tendencies, but I'm saying hardcore prepping, of course, is I mean, it goes without saying, it's 100% based on fear. I'm just using that as an example. Prepping, watch a video. Let's say this right. This is correct, and whatever the next plan is of what's going on now, or whatever hit the side of the Pentagon, or there's a million different, literally a million different YouTube titles you could insert, which seemingly to many of you would be very important and related to what's going on now. Where if I truly asked you at the end of it, how is this going to benefit you, even if it's right, even if it's not serving the system, and you'll have no way of saying it benefits you in any way, it's fine. But if it's left as a hobby, not an addiction. But remember, part two is the much more important part. If I believe in this, what I just watched, if I believe it, and it leads to any sort of fear, anxiety, stress, worry, whatever, even a more divisive camps separating um, ourselves in this community from others and around us, our family, our own family, is this system going to benefit in any way if I give this not only my attention, but any sort of emotion or energy that comes after it? And this is where the answer is almost always yes. Well, Matt, you even what you doing videos for? Yet free voice video you just did talked about there, it was all about the 7-Eleven job application. And it was all about there was no videos, there was only 18 videos, and there should be 250 videos, and there's no stills, and it was all about you doing the same damn thing. You hypocrite son of a bitch. Not really. First of all, sometimes I do that sort of thing, and then I do this sort of thing. I back up, say, wait a second, you truthers, you poor devils, are you doing the right thing here? But I also always do it under the um, auspices of, if that's the right word, of reminding you the world isn't very real. That's one of the, if not the major goal of this channel. It's one of the top three, of course. The world isn't very real. And what that does is if it's going into a Sims game for a quarter of a second and you see this world isn't very real, no group could have pulled this off over and over again, getting away with it every single time, and 250 videos should exist, and there's 18 videos, and there should be 400 stills. But Matt, that all that means is there was just no P. All that points to is there was no P. Not necessarily. There should be all those videos and stills of something happening without the P. But nevertheless, if there was no PP, then the impossible, I just emailed somebody this yesterday, the level of coordination amongst the news media on that day to show the PP and to have it all coordinated, and it's impossible and inhuman. So Matt, you're going down that road right now. No, I'm not, because let's back up. If impossible level of coordination beyond what any human beings could pull off over and over and over again, the world isn't very real. That's it's not a cop out, because at least I'm recognizing it. I'm stepping out. I'm seeing I'm in some sort of bizarre Sims game, and I'm not going to feed it the energy and attention that it wants. Well, it's not a cop out because it gets me to do the right thing. Well, you tell me, Matt, exactly what's going. It wants me to spend the rest of my life figuring out exactly what's happening. It can't be figured out. It's no different than the fish in the fish tank example I've talked about many times. Fish in the fish tank, their level of sentience and intelligence relative to their environment is no different from like a ratio jump up perspective to our level of sentience and intelligence in this body and avatar in our environment. So how do we know if there's guppies and angelfish and there's catfish on the bottom and catfish that suck the glass and all that stuff? How do we know they can't communicate? We humans, just because we can talk, we don't know how they can. Maybe they do have in their own way. See, the ratio's the same, in my opinion. We're not the top of the food chain. What a joke! But they might be saying, we have it all. Here comes a group of scientist guppies and tetras, and they tetras Teslas, and they said we have it all figured out. See, this is all that exists. This tank that we this is this is all that exists. It's expanding outwards from a big bang. And see how absurd that is. Even that conversation. Of course, it's absurd. It's in a fish tank, but they're in a dentist office, and the damn Pacific Ocean is about a mile away, and they have no concept of it. You don't think we're in the exact same situation? And then this giant waterfall and this glowing bar feeds us life, and they have all these theories as to it's just from our perspective, it's just a plug-in heater. It's no different. Our level of intelligence and these scientists, from Contact, these scientists here, they think they all have it figured out. The wise man says we're no different than the fish in the fish tank. We're in this avatar. It's limited beyond limitation. We're never going to figure it out, but you can figure out, if there's a net that goes into the fish tank. All right, they're not going to figure out their environment, but they might. A couple fish over here might be like, it's putting some flakes in, and there's a net, and it wants to draw us, guys. It wants to draw us over there. That net. It's putting the food in. It's trying to get our attention. It wants something from us. That doesn't know it's going to be snapped out or whatever. They're fish. They have limited CC brain capacity, right? But there might be a few fish that are like, wait a second, don't go over there. Don't give it your attention. It's dropping food. Don't go for it. But they don't know the extent of their situation, of course. They don't know they're in a fish tank at a dentist's office and the Pacific Ocean is right out the window. But it's no different from us. We get a sense as to what it wants us to do. In the case that the net would be the system here, the reality screen, drawing our attention because it needs our attention. Loosh, things like that. At least we can get a sense of what not to do. So, we all are addicted to this to a degree, but just remember the two steps for YouTube videos. Oh, let's say I really dive into this. What am I going to get out of it if it's right? And the answer almost 100% of the time almost will be nothing. And if I really do dive into this, and in any way, even for a moment during the video, I show fear or worry, or there's a YouTuber I trust. Oh, genocide's coming with the V. Is that gonna bring fear? Yeah. Is it gonna bring anxiety, worry? Do you think that this system here, this evil genius times a millionth to the 10 power to the nth degree, do you think it wants those emotions from real creative beings, or do you think, nah, we're just we're able to bypass their systems, Matt. We're able to share all this information via YouTube and BitChute, and we're able to put all these theories about as to all the things that are plotted and planned against us, and it doesn't want us doing that, Matt. We're screwing it. We're screwing it. Now, it had no ability, Matt, whatsoever to to shut down YouTube videos between 2008 and it's free speech, but it had no. See, when Google bought it and then they controlled everything, and they could have. There's no possibility if we were harming them, Matt. There's no possibility they could have come and did a press release in 2009 and said, we bought this thing called YouTube, and yeah, it's not a good business platform for us. See, the servers to host these videos just cost an arm and a leg. We're shutting the whole thing down. Well, Matt, then something else would have taken its place. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, sure. In the one world system, where the creatures that really control everything, the ancient money that controls. They give you the Forbes list. Oh, these are the richest people. Carlos Slim and his cell phone empire in Mexico, and Bill Gates and all these. They're the richest people. But yeah, what happened to the Vanderbilts? What happened to the Harrimans and Brown Brothers Harriman? What happened to um, the Hearst, and what happened to John Jacob Astor and all his wealth, and the other people on the? They might have been killed on the Titanic, but nobody got the money. What happened to Strauss and Guggenheim? And what happened to Rockefeller? Well, Matt, according to Forbes, the Rockefellers, their net worth is just down to about 20 billion. Yeah, they just missed every single trend in the world. They had no insider information, no ability to get information from politicians. When John D. Rockefeller, Standard Oil split up, it was split up into every single major oil company you've ever heard of. Chevron, Mobil, Texaco, Exxon, uh, ConocoPhillips. When it was broken up, and they controlled everything, and they had every politician in their pocket and controlled every bit of media. They had no ability, the Rockefellers, to predict what trends would come next. So you could see why a guy, some coder, at Harvard, just created Face Mash or whatever. You could see why his net worth is 100 times that of the Rockefellers now. Whatever it is, you could buy all the Rockefeller assets with just by writing a check. Sure, sure. No, the old. Sorry to be so roundabout, but the old money is hidden, of course. They don't even. I don't. To me, they don't even use money. They don't even need money. Um, so the point is that group, the group that has trillions and trillions. See, if Google found out, to get back to the main point, so Google found out that, oh, we bought this platform, and there's this truther group, this group of neos that are just going to use it to expose us. Oh my, well, I don't know, just we spent billions on it, but we have the money. Just say it's not going to work out and just shut the whole platform down. And with these other platforms might pop up, and it's a free capitalist society. We can't stop them. No, these groups that run the world, the puppet masters with the trillions of dollars, they would have had no ability to stop any Google or YouTube substitute that was going to do. That's why these platforms of BitChute, and they're all completely legitimate, because the powers that be here, they don't have any real power. They're not able to go in and just collapse Venezuela in a year. They're not able to do this. And the powers that be here, they would have no ability to stop BitChute or to come on. It's all stems from the same system. And if videos are being put out, it's exactly what they want or what they need. Isn't it obvious? Okay, that begs to, then Matt, why are you allowed to exist? Well, the obvious answer to that is maybe I get it wrong as much as I get it right. Maybe there's something very wrong in one of my theories, or Matt, maybe they're all wrong. Well, maybe they are, but I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe when what I'm wrong about there, I don't know. But also there's also something going on here, in my opinion, that I always fall back to, which also seems like a cop out, called the Matrix has rules. The Matrix has rules. And there's something here. This is called gravity. No matter how many reality buttons and levers they have access to, or whatever they can pull off, 50 reality breakdowns just on the 7-Eleven, excuse me, job application day by itself, they're never going to pull a lever where all of a sudden rocks float up in the air. There's these rules here. Um, and I don't know. I always felt that, somebody screaming at their presentation, well, Matt, you just proved your own case. You must be part of the system. You really are Joe Rogan. Believe what you want. I don't, if I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer than most, why I'm allowed to exist here, I don't know. Again, I just always fall back to the Matrix has rules. And we've always talked about that these creeps, they have, I don't know if you want to say contractually, but we've benefited spiritually, our spiritual progression, understanding ourselves, we've benefited by the role of these creeps. And from a higher perspective, I'll just say it one more time quickly. I'm sure I'll say it more in the future, but the role of the creeps, they didn't create this reality system and these ridiculous minions or whatever. Something put the creeps here. You call it source, God, something much greater. It doesn't matter for the purposes of this video. Something put the creeps here to be creeps, which in many respects, in many regards, was helpful for our progress. Where would you be? First of all, the same exercise we've been through a million times. Would you go back? None of us would go back from where we are today. And think of it's only where we are today. 90% of where we are today is because of just seeing through all this, the manipulation, the lies, the creeps, the all the stuff they do to human beings, the wars, and just rejecting it, trying to just doing everything we can for ourselves to reject it. And there is a very positive path that emerges when you see the darkness and what these things here are just doing to people over and over again. There is a positive path that emerges that we start walking down. So they've in many ways have helped us, um, and that's proven because we wouldn't go back. We wouldn't go back to whatever your life was 1999 before the big event or 2005. We wouldn't go back. So you know, and so the point of why I'm allowed to be here, assuming I'm assuming I'm right more than I'm wrong, is if the main one of the big roles of these creeps, whether they recognize it for themselves or not, they might not at the ground level, the Melvin P's and these minions, I don't think they even do recognize at the ground level the much greater role of they're here to be creeps. Tony says they're a completely different type of incarnation. Not even the same as you are, the spiritual aspect of you that's not here, that's related to higher self. Tony says they're not even the same as you. So they probably don't even know, they probably aren't even able to back up far enough to see but their role is. But if their role is to actually, in a way, benefit part of us, then that benefit would need to come out, would need to manifest, would need so channels like this would be allowed to exist. And I don't want it to sound arrogant or anything like that, like I'm the only one that has any answers. I'm trying to be, I'm just saying I'm wrong as much as I'm right, probably. But I do feel like over the years I have hit on some big things, whether it be stuff related to the screen, stuff where we have to back up and look down at it from a different perspective, to small things like, John McEnroe's "You Cannot Be Serious," which has nothing to do with lines people. I've hit on mistakes on purpose. Was mine. Mistakes on purpose was mine. Other things, why I'm still here, because the Matrix has rules. I don't know. I don't know. Because other channels have been wiped out. I don't know. I don't know. That is that is something that's very interesting. But anyway, it is what it is, and you can believe me or not. I'm sitting here. I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm trying to do the best I can, and I've been doing it for 10 years. And I assure you, there's people that support this channel, $3, $5 a month, or whatever. But if if that ever goes away, whatever database, the last time I went to look for a job, even at a temp agency, I will never be able to get anything that resembles a job ever again if there's ever anything called a background check. There was one temp agency that ran a background check that they wouldn't, after a very good interview, and obviously when I put a suit on and go into a temp agency or whatever, I can speak very well. I can shave my beard and present myself very well. They had a great interview. They wouldn't take my call, and they blocked my email where I got a mailer demon back. It wouldn't even take my email. I was like, what the hell was on that background check? Anyway, guys, so this is what I will do for the rest of my life, and you know, I will never be able to get another job again or anything that at least requires a background check. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And there is no free voice this weekend because Rob is away, very, very very difficult for him to even get internet access. So I'll do another YouTube video, and then we'll be back to Free Voice Weekend next weekend. Thanks, guys.